Hi, welcome to UFS TV. I hope you enjoyed the other one where we were back, where we're double back. But this is sort of, this has been in my mind for a few weeks actually, but you may not agree with this at all. So let's give this a go anyway. So here's the point. There's a great video online called Admiral McRaven's top ways of changing the world. There's top 10 ways of changing the world. There's some really good lessons in there. Number 10, he talks about his Navy SEAL training. He was the head of the Navy SEALs, but equally he trained as a Navy SEAL in the early 1970s, and he was saying about how tough the training was. You know, unbelievably tough, unbelievably brutal almost in its methodology. And the idea was they were trying to wheedle out the guys from the Navy SEAL program to get rid of the weak ones, so they only had the best guys. And the way to stop any of this pain, getting up at 5 a.m, doing all these exercises, standing in rivers up to your neck in mud, doing all this crazy stuff, was add a bell, and any time that you wanted to give up, you go and ring the bell. And his advice was, if you want to change the world, you never ring the bell. And that stuck in my head so profoundly. You know, we all have challenges, whether that's in our lives, whether it's in our business, whether it's in our jobs, whether it's in your training, not just martial arts training, any training. You know, we have guys who do real long distance runs, and when long distance, I'm talking like 40 miles plus. So the point is, I've now realised that martial arts generally is designed to make you fail. You start as a beginner to come and learn how to defend yourself, to become more confident, to get fitter. And all that is great stuff. But as you go on, if you're in a system that grades people, you will then find out that you're pushed up to your limits. So you might do a white belt grading here, which is physically demanding. And then once you've done that, then you move on to the next level, which is quite physically demanding, but a little bit more technical. And I have found this is our 30th year, 1987 to 2017, our 30 years we've been teaching martial arts now, that there are a number of points at which people stop training. Number one, the orange belt phase. And that jumps from where it's mostly kickboxing to then you still have to learn all the kickboxing and the wrestling, but you're introduced to a whole world of weaponry. Single stick, double stick. You were introduced into the trapping range. And sometimes if you've been really good at the kickboxing, it's really bloody hard to learn that next stage. The next stage that people give up is around blue to purple belt. It becomes more complex, you've still got to learn all that stuff, and you get a written test. If you get through that stage, then people struggle at brown belt. You have to do 2-on-1 sparring, and that for some people is a challenge, and they give up. And then final stage is that they get to their brown belt, and then the thought of taking the black belt in a year's time freaks people out, and they stop training then. Now, about 15 months ago, we introduced fitness tests for each level as well. So I realised we've built in yet another reason for you to fail. I don't want anybody to fail, I want you all to succeed. But we have groups of people, groups of students, which all work really well together, like it might be a red belt group, or it might be a blue belt group, or it might be the brown belt group. But you know which is the most impressive group, and it's always the most impressive group, is the black belt group. Because over 30 years we've trained less than, or I have trained less than 20 black belts. 20 people have come in and wanted to learn Eskrima, Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do, kickboxing, how to wrestle, how to get good at MMA type techniques, all of that stuff. And then they want to get fitter as well, and they want to challenge themselves historically and philosophically. It's difficult, it's really, really difficult. But those who really push forward get the biggest benefits and have the biggest hearts, and you have to find out at what stage you are going to ring the bell. I'm never going to ring the bell. And most of the black belts are never going to ring the bell, because once you've got it in you, you love these arts passionately, instinctively. Nothing can keep you away from it. Last year in my business, I fooled myself to thinking that I didn't have time to train. For 5 weeks I didn't train. So for 5 weeks I didn't do any training at all. No weights, no running, no martial arts. I came and taught the classes, and that's all I did, and I worked. 5 weeks. In those 5 weeks I put on half a stone. I felt absolutely terrible. The first run that I did in December was 2 miles, and I felt better straight away, because all sorts of training makes you feel better, raises your serotonin levels. And now, since the 2nd of January, I haven't missed a day's training. And that's for me. It's got nothing to do with you, it's got nothing to do with this club, it's to do with how I feel. And now I'm starting to feel the way I should feel as a martial arts instructor who stays at the front of the class trying to inspire my students. I ain't ringing the bell. It's up to you whether you ever ring the bell. That's a lesson from UFS TV. We'll talk to you again very soon.